Okay, hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So as promised today, I'm going to do a segment on economies around the world. So we're gonna start today with my friend and my favorite, Camille Saidi. The one and only. Can you, so can you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and where did you grow up?
So yeah, my name is Camille, I'm French, I'm 28 years old, I'm from Lyon, it's close to Italy in France, and yeah, I leave France like 4 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
At the beginning just to travel.
Can you look at me when...
You prefer to look at you instead of...
Yeah, because like that's how podcasts are. Sorry guys, it's still a work in progress, but... So... No, keep it in.
Okay, so can I leave?
I don't know if that's allowed on YouTube.
Yeah, it's allowed in this country.
On YouTube. I don't know if you can vape on YouTube.
Anyway, so yeah, I lived in plenty of different countries in Southeast Asia, I traveled, backpacker, blah, blah, blah. So I've been everywhere in Southeast Asia. I also spent a year in Australia. And now I'm back here in Vietnam since a year now.
Okay, very nice. Now, I was so fascinated by our previous conversations about how your country works specifically that I wanted to create a video about it and share it with other people, especially because a lot of my fan base comes from North America. All right, take two. Okay, so I have a few questions that I want to go over, and I wrote them down in my phone. So let me just pull these out. How's your tea, by the way?
Fantastic. Very sweet, but fantastic.
Okay.
Want to try?
Sure. It's so heavy. Oh my God, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
Guys, I cannot have processed
diabetes,
sugar.
Southeast Asia is not for you.
Yeah, they put sugar in everything. Like, everything. Anyways, okay, so let's start with the first topic, education. So in North America, we have a school that is free, and we also have school that you have to pay for. Now, just talking about kindergarten to grade 12, we call it. What do you guys have? What's your schooling system? How does it work? Do you have private and public education? And is it free?
Okay, so let's start from the beginning, kindergarten. In France, yeah, you have both, like you have public and private. You can pay or not, but like there's always a public school close to you. But there's also always like private school, like religious private school or not only. And yeah, that's pretty easy when you're a little kid. It just depends on where you live. For me personally, I come from a place, well, I guess very normal in France. So I've never been to private school. I never feel the need to go to private school. My parents also didn't want to spend money for that, which is totally understandable because it's a budget.
But like in terms of the quality of education, would you say there's a big gap, or would you say there was not?
I can't really say because I've never been to private school.
Right.
But as always, yeah, it just depends on the school. There is some very good public school and some shitty public school, and same for private school. Like there is some very great, some very shitty. Actually, I don't think there is shitty private school because.
But well.
In terms of education.
Yeah, I have my things on that. But
Me too.
For example, in your middle school class, in a public school, how many students do you have?
When I was a kid, it just depends every year, but if I remember well, when I was a little kid, we were around like maybe 25, 30 per class.
Oh, that's pretty good.
In high school and middle school, it was worse. But at public school, yeah, we were not that much per class. And like we was like 4 classes for the same grade. You know, I don't know how you call that in America, like the different grade in public.
Yeah, the levels.
Yeah, level 1, 2, blah, blah, blah. And every time there was like 2 or 3 different classes for the same level. So that's why we're just 25, 30 kids per class. Okay. Because there was like...
They combined multiple levels. Okay.
Also, yes.
Yeah. So moving on from that, let's talk about college, university. So...
The most interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of...
Even if actually high school is also very important.
In France?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you'll get your high school degree, which is very important if you want to continue in studies like in college or university.
Correct. Now-
And for this one, it's more different. I've been in a shitty high school,
Okay.
like one of the worst in France.
Okay.
But again, like as a teen, it was very funny. In terms of quality of teaching, very shitty. But it made me who I am now, so I think it's okay. But yeah, it's very important the high school. And on this one, you can choose whatever high school you want in the city or not even the city. They don't have to accept you, but the high school in your area has to accept you.
Right, right, because you're going to public, so you
Yeah.
have to go within your district.
Yeah. I don't have to go in my
Oh, you don't?
district. Like I was not in my district for my high school.
Okay.
I had like to do like 40 minutes on the
Drive,
subway to go.
whatever. Okay.
But because I chose to go there before I knew that it was a shitty high school.
Outside of that experience, let's talk a little bit about enrollment in college and university. So there's this big talk around countries around the world. I know Germany is one of them as well, that you guys do not have to pay for your university or college education. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes. In France, it's the same. Like it's free. You just have some fees to pay, but it's peanuts. Like
So the government fully funds
Yeah.
your education?
you just have to pay like 200 euro for fees admission
Okay.
every year, or around 200 more or less. Just depend if you have some
Right.
help from the state, from the government, and a lot of students also had help. I had help, like it was peanut. Like I received. I get
Received.
100 euro per month from government to go to public to
And
university.
that's money
It's
they
nothing.
just right,
But it's still great,
Yeah.
better than nothing, and I didn't have to pay any fees to go to the uni because I had the help from the government.
So can you walk me through a little bit? So your education is supplied for and paid for by the government.
Yeah.
Now is that money
Not
coming
every
from your
uni,
taxes?
like from public uni, yeah, but
Okay.
from private business school or this kind of school, no, you have to pay. Or there's also another thing. That's what I do for my master's degree. Is like you get hired by a company.
Okay.
They pay the school for you. They also pay you a monthly salary, a normal salary, like very normal, like normal rate, and you have to go to school like 1 week per month, and then during 3 weeks you have to go to work.
Right.
That's what I did for my master's degree.
Okay.
That's the most interesting thing to do for students in France.
Very interesting. And in terms of like admission rates, is it much more difficult because it's free? Is it
No, it's
very
very easy.
equal? Okay, interesting. So let's say between like you're going to public versus private, is private, would you say, more difficult because you have to pay?
Actually, private are also very easy.
Okay,
Just
interesting.
depend what you study,
Yeah.
and depend on the school.
Okay.
There's some school very hard, and there is also very easy, and you just pay for your degree.
Okay.
Like uni, I'm just like to say, yeah, if you just study a bit, like you do the bare minimum, it's not that difficult. But again, depend. Like if it's medicine school, med school, yeah, hell no, you're gonna have to work as a lot. I try to say polite.
So like when you finish and you get your degree, are you able to utilize these degrees overseas, for example? Because okay, because for example, in North America and Canada, like if I get a teacher's license to teach in Ontario, my province only recognizes that license in my province. So like in France, obviously it's different. You don't have provinces.
We're not
but-
a federal state.
Right, but what I'm trying to say is like, would it be recognized in other parts of Europe or in other parts of the world, regardless of the fact that it's French?
It depends of the degree you had in the school you go.
Okay.
Like some private school, they give you a degree who's not recognized by the country, so it's not recognized anywhere.
But you need to be aware of this.
Yeah.
That's the thing that universities don't tell you. They don't prepare you for all of the hoops that you have to jump through.
At university, it's always recognized. I'm talking about private school.
No, but like even for example, like when I was going into university and my college years, like they don't tell you that in order to achieve this, you have to check off this and this and this. It's going to take you this many extra years to do this, et cetera, that kind of thing. So I'm just saying, like, with my teacher's license, I will not be able to go anywheres with that, right? Like, I can't study with that and teach with that in British Columbia, for example.
That's crazy.
It's not recognized.
Because my degrees are recognized in Canada.
That's crazy. Like, but that's just worlds of a difference, right? Like, maybe there's like a teacher's license. I don't know if anyone knows. Excuse me, if there's like a license that you can get that will allow you to work, not even internationally, but just between provinces. Like, I know that you have to take like a province exam and you have to redo some schooling.
Maybe it's just, actually, I'm not 100% sure. Like, maybe if you have a teacher degree in France and you want to be a teacher in Canada, maybe you have to do an equivalence. Like, and I think if you study law or made in France, you not necessarily, you cannot be able to be a doctor or lawyer in Canada, for example. Maybe you still have to do some equivalence or to pass something, like to show that you also know what you have to do. In Canada.
Okay, and so do you know what other countries have this free education program aside from France?
Europe.
All of Europe? Like
all
Germany,
European countries,
Spain?
But again, I'm not 100% sure on that.
Okay.
I just know about France because I studied in France.
Because I know for us, North Americans, it's so mind-blowing to think that you can go to school for free when we, in fact, have debt for many, many years, right, that no one can pay back. So it's just interesting.
But again, it's the university was free in France. If you go to business school or whatever, you're also going to have to do a loan or whatever. You're going to have to pay.
Yeah, but if you go to university and your degree's in business.
Yes, but
does that count as
business degree from some private school are way much more famous than one from uni.
Right. Okay.
So again, it's just you choose what you can do, what you can pay for.
Right.
There's some very famous and expensive business school, for example. And in terms of career, it's way much better to go there, but it's not for everyone. Like, it's very expensive.
Yeah, 100%. So, how does it work in your country? Do you have free healthcare? Is there some stuff that's not covered? Is there stuff that's free? Do you have to pay for out of pocket?
First of all, nothing's free. Like, it's not because you don't have to pay that it's free. Like, it's just you pay tax for that.
Okay, so but what I'm saying is, like, you don't physically have to pay the doctor money when you go to.
Just depends. Like, the first, like the basics are free.
Right.
But if you go like to private hospital or very specific doctor or get some specific medication, nothing is not 100% free.
So okay.
But of course, if I'm going to the doctor, it's gonna be free. Like, I'm gonna have to pay, but I'm gonna be refunded.
So you pay up front and then you get refunded.
For a doctor. But like, if I'm going to the hospital, emergency, I break my arms, whatever, I have nothing to pay.
Okay, correct. And how long do you wait when you're in the ER and you're waiting to see a doctor?
A lot. In the emergency, for example?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot.
So can you give me a number?
5 years ago, I broke my arms.
Yeah.
So I've been to the emergency and I wait probably 3 hours, 4 hours to see the doctor, to do the scanner, etc.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, that's not that bad in North America.
Yeah, it was not that much in America. I was not dying, so I was.
I know, but like sometimes they make you wait 8 hours.
Yeah, no, but yeah, it's the same in France. Like, it's
okay, so it's the same.
Yeah, the system is starting to break. Like, right now, it's hospital are in emergency right now. Like, there is no
crisis. They're in a crisis.
Yeah, exactly. Take a crisis. Like, the state's not funding hospital enough. Like, doctors are running everywhere in hospitals.
Yeah.
Like, some hospitals, it's like, shit, it's not that bad, but yeah, it could be way much better.
Right. Okay. And in terms of like antibiotics, when you have to go to the pharmacy and buy the products, do you find it's very expensive? Is it very affordable?
It's supposed to be free, and it's also depends if you have a private healthcare.
Right.
Because you also have a private healthcare in France. Like, there is two things: the public healthcare that everyone has, but they not cover everything. So you also have to take a private healthcare, which is mandatory. Like, when you have a job, you have a private healthcare.
Okay.
Just depend. Plenty of them are different. They're not the same price, Like if
Right,
you want
right.
like the best services and
Yeah.
the best refund, you can just take an expensive one.
Yes.
If you just want the minimum, like for me, I'm never sick, so every time I just want just the basic.
Yeah.
So I paid maybe around 20 euro per month for that.
Yeah.
And it's not that shitty. For example, I had a teeth problem back in the year.
Yeah.
It was supposed to cost me like maybe probably 500 euros, so approximately 800 Canadian dollars. But even with my shitty, it was not that shitty by the way, but even with my cheap healthcare, I've been refunded 100%.
Wow.
I had nothing to pay.
That's crazy. And tell me about your eye care clinics. Like you were telling me something earlier about the fact that when you go to the eye doctor, did you say it's free or?
To get a prescription?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you have to pay for your glasses. And again, it depends of your private healthcare. If you have a good one, you're gonna have nothing to pay. But last summer, for example, because I was back in France just for the summer, so I didn't have the private healthcare.
Yeah.
I had to pay for my glasses because I wanted new. I paid 300 euros for that.
But we like, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but like we pay for our doctor visit in addition to the glasses. So you pay for the exam fee. It's not covered, right?
I think it's covered in France.
Okay.
TBH, I didn't check if I get a refund last summer.
Yeah.
But it's supposed to be free. You can't go every week, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
But I've probably like once a year it's free.
Okay.
And if you have to go more often, maybe you have to pay for.
Yeah.
But again, it depends of your healthcare. My mom, she has a problem on her eyes, like she has to see a doctor eyes very often.
Yeah.
I don't think she paid for that.
Okay.
But for example, she had to pay for the medication, even with private healthcare and the public one.
So it
Sometimes it's
depends
just not
on what's covered
yeah,
and what's not covered.
You screw and you have to pay.
Yeah, okay. Let's move on to the next question. Taxes. Do you pay a lot?
Yeah.
Obviously, it depends on your job, your salary, all that.
No, you
but
always pay a lot.
okay,
Like even on basic thing like VAT, in France the VAT is 20% if I'm not wrong.
yeah, that's a lot. Do you?
Petrol, like sorry, I will cut you.
No, it's okay.
Fuel, gas, very pricey, more than in your country. Like 1 liter of
Which is crazy.
fuel of gas, it's around, especially with the crisis in Middle East right now, but it's around like 2 euros per liter,
Yeah,
which is a lot. It's $3.50 for 1 liter of
yeah,
fuel.
that's crazy. And do you find you get a lot in return for
Yeah,
your
because
taxes?
as I said, like you had free school, free hospitals. Like yeah, we get a lot. Maybe not as much as we paid for in taxes, but yeah, that's the deal. Lot of taxes, but lot of help when you need.
I think the big thing for me is that you guys have the free schooling. That's what's just so shocking. Because like there's a lot of systems where, you know, even the UK, for example, they also have free healthcare, right? But they have to pay for their schooling. And
Public school, like high school, middle school.
no, like university and college, like
Okay.
they have to pay for that as well. So I find that like a big leg up that France focuses on education first instead of pushing the narrative that you have to pay your way to success.
Yeah.
So I find that very interesting and definitely more worth it for what you pay in taxes versus what we pay in taxes, which is insane. Okay, here are my last two final questions.
Okay.
Do you believe that the protestings in France are pushing back the success of the economy in France? Like, do you believe that if there was less protests going on, that the economy could be running more efficiently?
Yes and no, because as I said, we have free school, free hospital. It's thanks to protesting. Back in time when we have kings, like we protesting, the kings,
Yeah.
and now that's the republic. So our country, the Republic of France, has been built on protesting.
Yeah.
So that's part of us, I guess. If you don't protest, you can't have, you're losing your rights, and you're not gonna have more rights. Like if you just always say, yeah, okay, let's deal with that.
Yeah.
So that's why.
So it's an important part of your culture, your identity as a French
Yeah,
person.
being on strike, on those things, it's kind of normal in France. Like there is
And
not
so
every,
you're saying there's not that much of an economic impact.
Oh, there is probably an impact on that.
Yeah.
But if we were not protesting for something, the thing will be worse.
Right.
Like, for example, the legal retirement age. You know, when you old enough to stop working. And
Yeah, they changed it, right?
Yeah,
It was like,
like
65,
I
63.
think it's 62 now.
Yeah.
But yeah, every time they want to push it more late, and every time people have to protest, say, fuck no, no.
Yeah,
I don't want
we
to die
don't-
at work.
Yeah.
It's not working that much, TBH.
Yeah.
Like every time, even with protesting,
Yeah.
it is what it is. But yeah, but if you were not protesting, they can say, yeah, okay, you're gonna work until 70.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have to, and that's not a pleasure, like to be on strike, because you're losing money. You're not working, so you're not earning any money.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's also part of our culture, I guess.
Right. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Last question. And it's kind of a more general question of what do you think could be improved on any of these three topics that we just discussed today? So healthcare, tax,
Everything.
or okay, but is there like any one thing that you think like this, if this could just be changed a little bit more?
I think the tax system, because again, you get what you pay for. So
Right.
for me, I'm okay with paying tax, but the structure has to follow.
Right.
Like, okay, we're paying a lot of tax, but in exchange, please make good hospitals, like those
Right,
things. Like
right,
sometimes,
right.
you know, you never know where the money is going.
Yeah.
But I think that's a problem in every country in the world, because you always think about how much you paid, and
Yeah.
you never realize like what you get for.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's huge. Yeah. So yeah, probably the taxes.
Okay, thanks again, Camille, for coming in today and sharing with us. And thank you, everyone, for tuning into this episode of Economies Around the World. Please like, share, and comment. If you want to hear anything specific or countries that you're really curious about and how it works, please let me know. And I will see you guys next week.